Welcome back to another new card showcase. Today, we've got doubling down, aren't they? Yep, yes they are. Konami are doubling down. For those of you who haven't seen the hand trap video essay thing I did, would recommend to get my collective thoughts and opinions on the direction of hand traps in Yu-Gi-Oh! But let's not dilly-dally too hard on the subjectivity and perceptions that people have of hand traps in general. But would you look at that? They've made another Dominus card. So for better or for worse, let's just look at it from a pure gameplay perspective. This is Dominus Spark. It's a normal trap card. You can activate one card with this name per turn. During the turn, your opponent activated a monster effect in the hand or the graveyard. You can activate this card from your hand. You can target a monster your opponent controls, banish it. And if you have no traps in your graveyard, they can special monster from their hand. If you activated this card from your hand, you cannot activate the effects of Earth, Water, Fire, Wind for the rest of this duel. So you can see that this card is obviously unplayable in elemental decks. But there's one particular attribute that this card is very good in. It's the dark decks. And do you know what else the dark decks have available to them? Impulse. So having 6 of the... I'd say Impulse is absolutely and easily the best Dominus card, ignoring the restrictions and stuff. But even if you, in tandem, think about the restrictions, like, dark decks are... I mean, when is there never a bad dark deck in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Like, dark is almost always a good good deck of some flavor in any given format. So, in terms of its restrictions, there's basically none. Assuming you will find a meta-relevant dark deck, which, you know, they exist quite commonly. Now, as for the effect itself, so, just a banish of a monster on the field. How good is that? It's obviously going to be much better for the toggler, for the shufflers, because you can target certain matchups and stuff like that. Immediately just banishing a monster from the field could be pretty clutch. If it's like an end board piece that isn't a negate, that could be really relevant to hit. You know, just deleting some sort of like a Masquerena, a combo starter of sorts, like maybe if they go into like Zombie Vampire, just immediately banishing it on summon. Things like that are really, really good to hit with this card. Now, the downside is that if you do use this from the hand, assuming you have no traps in your graveyard, like Imperm or an Impulse, you do get a drawback, and that is your opponent gets to special a guy from their hand for free. Do you want to let your opponent special summon a monster from their hand? Clearly, that would be terrible. Now, the thing is, your opponent getting to special summon a monster from their hand is completely subjective to the deck they're playing. Banishing a monster from your opponent's side of the field and then them getting to a free special from the hand, not negating it or anything, by the way, they just get to special guy from the hand, that's extremely broken, depending on the deck. It's like this card didn't do anything. Conversely, depending on the deck, that's extremely relevant. Because it doesn't matter if they extend from the hand if you hit a really clutch card on the field. Like if you just delete like something like a Zombie Vampire or a very relevant like Link 2 or something, it's a big deal. Reading? What am I missing here? Target a monster your opponent controls, banish it. Then, if you have no trap, they can special monster from their hand. What is it you think I'm misreading here? Anyway, yeah, so, also pointed out, you can use this at any time. You don't have to just use it immediately. You can just wait till the end phase. So, waiting till the end phase, hitting something important, and then they get to special summon from their hand. Special summoning a body from your hand is not really going to be that important or relevant if it's done in the end phase. But the important thing to recognize is that a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh decks have like disruptions and they can put up like an Omni or something or some sort of like, you know, protection effect. So waiting till the end phase could be pretty risky. It just depends on the deck. I think overall, TLDR, this card is very good. It's not going to be a staple in every single dark deck ever in the history of the game, but it is a very good card, and it will see use, and it will be played 100%. And if you're a shuffler, you should probably buy this card and pick it up if you can get it for cheap, because it will be It will be good, and it will be relevant. And I think the most important thing is the fact that it's got a no phase restriction. Your opponent just needs to use a monster in the grave or hand, which is, probably likely. Anyway, yeah, so overall, good card. I'd say a solid 8 out of 10. We got some new Kewl Tune supports, and also a replay. So let's see what this new stuff can do. What is Kewl Tune missing? I'd say Kewl Tune is a pretty decent deck. It's just not super, super powerful. It probably could use an extender. So if this deck has a good extender in here, I think the deck might be pretty decent. What do we have here? A level 1 Light Cyburst Tuner. 1/800. If this card on the field will be used as material, one tuner in your hand can be used as one of the other materials. You'll only use the first and second effect once per turn. Reveal this and one other tuner in your hand, and immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon a tuner. Oh, well. Does that fix everything? I don't know about everything, but I mean, that's that's pretty good. If this is sent to the grave as a 2, activate one of its effect, place a card in your opponent's grave on the bottom. So grave disruption is really huge. You can look at your opponent's hand and then add a Kewl Tune spell trap. Ooh. Ooh, I don't like looking at your opponent's hand, dude. You don't actually get to do anything. You just, stare. But it's a completely, for free bonus effect that it tells you exactly what to do against your opponent. It cannot be understated just how incredibly important it is to just know exactly what your opponent has. Because then you know when to stop them and disrupt them. And what to play around. That is massive. So an extender that gives you full knowledge, I mean... turn 1 knowledge? That is really crazy. So, this is very good. Kewl Tune Crackle. Level 5 Dark Thunder Synchro. Kewl Tune Clip plus tuners. 1 plus tuners. Plural, by the way. Kills first, second effect once per turn. Synchro, look at your opponent's extra and banish one from it until the end phase. Until the end phase, obviously not relevant on your turn, really. But, you're doing a lot of quick synchroing on your opponent's turn. I've always hated this mechanic. It's I don't know, man. I have always hated this. Ripping something out the extra is so stupid. I really don't like that. But that's extremely powerful. Because even if it's for 1 turn, doing it on your opponent's turn and then hitting something clutch out of the extra is, can be really, really, really big. The synchroed card is sent to the grave, special it, then look at your opponent's extra and banish 2 cards from it. Well, good luck playing the game, man! Yeah, you could do it turn 0 as well? Okay, alright, I don't know, this seems a little ridiculous. If this deck was to get support, I don't know if you can ask for better support, right? And they have a new boss monster as well. So it's generic, by the way. So keep that in mind, Sword Soul players. Level 10 Dark Fiend Synchro Tuner. 1 tuner plus 1 synchro. You can only use a third effect once per turn. So synchro monster. Still pretty generic, to be fair. The levels of monsters your opponent controls are increased by 2. I mean, that's just an auto win depending on the deck, right? So that in itself is depending on the deck you're playing against, that's just an insta win. Not that often, but, again, depending on the deck, you could just insta-win. Your tuners can make a second attack during each battle phase, so that includes himself, 64 damage just alone. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, target a tuner in your graveyard or banishment, except a level 10, add it or special it, then immediately after this effect resolves, synchro a monster. Third effect, twice per turn. Dude, I don't know, but this deck, I think, is maybe the best deck in Genesis. Arguably, it's definitely up there. It's top tier. I would be surprised if this isn't a meta threat by the time Nationals comes around. Because this is the National set. This is May. Blazing Dominion. This is the set that has the Jack Atlas support. Also considering the fact that there's probably going to be 2 more ban lists by then. So they're going to hit the current decks. And there isn't really that much in terms of broken archetypes coming to the TCG over the next few what's it called? Months. Looking at the OCG tier list, for example. You've got what? Mitsu, Dracotail, Malice, Vanquish Soul, Striker. Their meta is not that different from ours. So we don't have a ton of crazy new archetypes and stuff coming. So by the time that this deck actually gets here around National Season, assuming there'll be another ban list by the, like, I don't know. I think Kewl Tune easily is going to be a tier 1 deck. Like, this stuff is crazy. So yeah. Anyway, let's see what this deck can do. All right, what do we have? Kewl Tune Q. Normal summon Q. Special rotary. We're going to go synchro into Track Maker. Activate both effects. Bing bong. Look at the top 2 cards and banish one, and then stare at your opponent's hand. We're going to add JJ Kewl Tune. We're going to add Rico. Activate the field spell. Normal Rico. Add Clip. Yep, Clip. Activate the field spell. Tag it out for Mix. Have you read Mix? Add another Rico. Synchro from the hand here into Remix. Clip in the hand with this guy into Loudness. Clip, rip a card out the opponent's extra deck. And then, boom, pass. That's a 1-card combo. Into your opponent's turn here, we're going to use Remix. Tag into Rico, add Rotary. Quick synchro again on the opponent's turn for Track Maker. Track Maker effect, going to add Clip here. Loudness War, you get to copy an effect. And I think this gets the trigger again, right? This is the... you get to look at their top deck, add a card, and then place 1 card from their graveyard. Into the back-to-back. Get to bounce 1. Add this back. Synchro. Up into Crack Cool. Clip effect plus Crack Cool on the new chain here. You get to pop a spell and trap, a random extra deck banish, and then 2 extra deck banishes. And this card is obviously twice per turn, so you get to synchro again with the Crack Cool that you synchroed for free on your opponent's turn. Into the Loudness War. And then you have Grave Disruption or searching the follow-up for the Kewl Tune Synchro. And then this thing card brings it back as well. And you get to banish 2 more cards from the extra deck. You could set up 2 more on the field disruption instead of just killing the extra deck. But banishing 5 from extra deck is funnier. So in total, you have a 1-card combo that rips like a third of your opponent's extra deck. I'm telling you, this deck's going to be good. This deck is going to be good. I'm calling it. Peace out. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.